What's up, YouTube? How's it going, everybody? So today's video, we're actually just going to do a little talk session, almost like a podcast, except it's not a podcast.
Because it's a video.
Because it's a video. I mean, you can do podcasts and videos, but like no one's hearing this live right now. So
nobody hears podcasts live.
what's up, YouTube? Anyways, we actually just wanted to get together. We're currently staying at Universal Studios Aventura Hotel. Later tonight, we're going to be going up to Bar 17 on the rooftop. Just enjoy a little night. But before we do that, we actually wanted to get with you guys and do a little video on Halloween Horror Nights. That's why we're wearing the shirts we're wearing. So I will come out and flat out say this. I am not a fan of horror. Not the biggest fan. I'm like the littlest when I'm the person that is doing the scaring. Stephanie, on the other hand, is your go-to horror guide.
I wouldn't say that. I like horror. I wouldn't say I'm like well-versed in like...
Well, all the stories
horror,
and back,
like,
yeah, but
yeah.
She's
but
the fan.
I like it.
Where I'm the chicken. So... But anyways, in this video, we're going to just be going over some of our speculations that we had. There's a map that is out. There's actually a lot of speculation maps.
Yeah. There's like one like...
There's one that's a lot of people are kind of referencing on.
Yeah.
So we're just going to use that one. Now, anything that we're saying in this video is probably not factual. It's just based off of speculations and basically like fan theories and what we hope.
And it is... Oh, it's July 3rd.
In this video,
and
yeah.
We have not gotten any house announcements yet.
No announcements, no streets.
Nothing.
We don't even know if Horror Nights is happening.
We don't know.
Now, let's talk about this for a minute. In my opinion, I don't think Horror Nights is really going to happen.
You don't?
I don't. Horror Nights is a very packed event.
Yeah.
It's very on top. People are everywhere.
Yeah.
So for Universal to really mandate the social distancing, good luck.
It'll be difficult.
I don't see how they would do it. So I don't know. But it's the 30th anniversary. So in my opinion, the way I look at it, it's like, man, it would be nice. Sorry, my bad. I'm trying to fix the computer. It'd be nice if Universal
pushed it off.
Pushed it for next year.
Yeah.
But
there was one thing that I saw on one of those Facebook groups, somebody commented that I was like, oh, that's such a good idea, was that the one year that they did both parks.
Oh.
If they did that and just had like 5 houses per park,
and split
you could spread it out more.
Yeah.
And not limit capacity. That would be a good idea.
The return of islands.
Yeah.
Now, like we said, it is July 3rd that we're filming this. So that means in 2 months, which I don't think right now anything in islands. We were actually at islands today. We did not see anything over there. So if that's the case, they would have to be day and night going at it. But I think I didn't even think about that. There was times where Halloween Horror Nights was both parks. Mm-hmm. They could definitely space some things out, and then and then you can get to the real technical, like what tickets and all. It just might
cost them more, but
yeah, to make it happen.
Anyway.
I don't know.
We could talk all day about if they're going to have it or not.
We don't know.
We have no idea.
Like I said again in this video, there's nothing we've been announced. There's nothing that we know of. We have no word from anything. We're in the dark. So next thing we're going to talk about is the speculation map that we're referring to. And the things that people are speculating on what's going to actually happen this year. Let's say, forget the virus, whatever. Let's just say Halloween Horror Nights is actually going to fully go through with it like normal. And some of the houses that we saw include Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We saw Universal Monsters, which...
The Brides.
Yeah, but the Brides, which, again, I'm excited. I love Dracula. So, but yes, and the Brides, which would, of course, include, Drac's Brides in there. So we got also one called Pumpkin Original. Don't know what that's based off of.
I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be like, what I'm picturing is like the section from Slaughter Cinema that's pumpkin guts,
Oh, okay.
but like a whole
See, I
house.
never went into Slaughter Cinema. Never got a chance. It's been a while. I don't know. Last year's event, I was able to go in a couple houses.
Yeah.
So.
I think that would be cool if it was like pumpkin guts, but a whole house.
This one I'm not excited about at all. Mannequin Theater.
Mannequin theater. I think that could be really creepy.
It could, but like.
I don't know what it is, but it could be really creepy.
I don't know. Because then again, there's nothing. For instance, even like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You're like, oh, you know what Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, but like we don't know what the house is going to be, of course.
Yeah.
So we don't know if you're going to like it or
and
not.
we know that they've
Just
done
going off the name.
They've done that before. So
A
like,
couple of
is
times
it going to
in
be
both
like
parks.
So like, is
in
it
the
going to
United
be
States.
based on the more recent one?
I don't
Is it
know.
going to be based on the older ones? Is it like
And when
gonna be
Stephanie,
the same thing?
and when
Oh.
Stephanie says more recent, older, like I
You
don't watch
even know what
horror.
I'm referring to.
But when I was like 4 years old, I did watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Maybe that's why you don't like horror movies.
There's a lot of reasons why I don't like
Way
horror
too
movies.
young to be watching that.
Shout out to my grandparents. But another one is bedtime stories.
I'm excited for that. If
That one
that's
sounds
okay.
interesting. I feel
I
like they
like
can
that a
actually
lot.
make that really good. I'm gonna skip over to Anniversary House, which it's called Anniversary House. Don't know if that's actually based off of something or if it will be the 30th anniversary house. We don't know because the next one is Horror Nights Icons as a house.
That would be cool.
So that one I think will be a big fan favorite if that is. I don't know if that would play into the Anniversary House. I think Anniversary House may be a theme of that year. But then again, I could probably be somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about, like current status. And it could be based off of something horror-wise. Then, this is probably the worst thing I've heard.
No.
Billie Eilish. I'm going to say it. Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
Now, here's the
House.
thing. There could be a lot of fans that are like, oh, that'd be so cool because of her music. And then maybe some of the graphics from her
Maybe
videos.
videos.
But
I haven't really watched her music videos, so I don't know.
I'm not a Billie Eilish fan. I'll be honest.
I like her music. I don't see how it correlates. I don't see how that would like.
I just think
be
that's
a
a
house.
that's an audience grabber. That's for the fans, like just to get a certain group of people and
Yeah.
just to have a music themed and I don't know.
I just
I'm
don't
not.
really get it. Maybe once we see it,
Horror Nights could
if
do
it's
something
even
so much
a
better.
thing, even if it's even a thing.
Yeah, this may not like again. All this is speculation. We could literally wake up tomorrow morning. Actually, most of the time when we do videos, 10 seconds later.
we find out.
We
the
find out right
opposite.
away. The complete opposite. Yeah. So, I mean, it could be something completely different. But yeah, Billie Eilish. So, I'm not a fan.
I don't know.
Then Beetlejuice.
I'm excited for that one.
That I think will be fun. I think that will be very much a Ghostbusters-like house.
Yeah.
That is a very catchy
Yeah.
tune, very fun for the guests, but will have some good jump scares.
Yeah.
I think Beetlejuice in general will
I was
have
gonna
good
say
jumps.
we talked about this before, but I feel like Ghostbusters was a good house. It was very pretty. I don't think there were any scares that got me. I went through too many times,
and like
I
a big
don't.
scaredy cat here.
I like never got
It was
scared.
just I walked in immediately. I was like,
It was just fun. Yeah, it was fun to go through. It was very
a
nostalgic
cool,
and everything.
nostalgic feeling for Horror Nights.
But I feel like Beetlejuice could be very scary. Like you have that sand snake thingy. You have like
Sand snake.
you have
thing.
that little what is that? What is that called? The dude that like marries people.
That guy.
That guy, and
You know
he's
that
like
guy.
that little guy, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have like the couple, but when they're like showing their like scary
Doing
faces,
their faces.
and he does the
Okay.
whole like this thing,
The long
like
nose.
that
Yeah.
jumping out at you, that would be scary.
They could do some things. I also think it would be very neat. For instance, I know a couple years. Actually, my very first Horror Nights I ever went to, I got tricked into going to, 2014. Very first house I've ever done was Halloween, and I remember the facade was actually walking up to Michael Myers' house, and I remember that like stained a memory inside me. So I can never forget that. But it would be cool to walk up to the house
Yeah.
of where Beetlejuice is, and then as you're going through the house, actually at some point end up in the map. Or that little,
Yeah.
like, that table, the
That would be
graveyard
so
scene and
cool.
all that, and him pop up. I think that...
I did say that I would love to be in that house, and I would love to be cast as Lydia when she's in
The red dress.
her red like wedding dress. That would be so cool.
She would love
That costume would be hot.
I wouldn't really care to be Beetlejuice. But then again, like
imagine like the scene that you get to be in all night, every night is like when the shrimps come out, when the shrimp hands come out.
it's been a long time.
And
I haven't seen Beetlejuice in a long time.
It's the coconut song is playing. Where they're like what? How does that go? No, it's not coconut, it's banana. It's a bird.
Do the banana.
No, not that banana song. It's the
Daylight come
Yeah.
and we wanna go home.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
DJ.
And they're all dancing around the table.
Oh, the table scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a good minute.
That
I think that'd be a cool.
That would be a fun
scene.
scene to be in.
That'd be a
like
fun
people walking by all night,
As a
and you're
scare
just
actors.
like,
All day,
you would get sick of it.
probably. Well,
That
yeah,
song would be stuck in your head like
Daylight come and
all
we
day,
don't
every
wanna
day
go
for like
home.
months.
Hey, he's there. All right. Then the last one we haven't mentioned. This one Stephanie knows. I don't know anything about, and supposedly Stephanie is leading this to be probably the scariest one that they could have. So I left it for last. The Haunting of Hill House. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Haunting of Hill House.
The Netflix show.
From Netflix, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, this is all speculation. So.
I think that would be a big like grabber, too, because it's a Netflix show. Like how
And
Stranger
it could be like an
Things was and
IP
stuff.
thing. Yeah.
But that show was scary.
See, I don't know. I don't know
That
anything
show,
about.
like,
Just by the name freaks me out.
There
The
were
Haunting.
there were times where
Good.
I like would have to turn on like something like Friends or something before I went to bed because
You hear that,
I get
guys?
scared.
If you're feeling scared, just watch Friends.
yeah,
It'll be
put you
okay.
to sleep. But
Imagine
that
you
would
watching Friends.
that would be a good house.
That would be good.
I wish you like have seen it so we could talk about it.
Good.
But it would be a
good.
good house.
I'm good.
It'd be a good house.
So, anyways, those are the speculations for the houses. My favorite one being, of course, Universal Monsters.
What?
Universal Monsters, The Brides. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Especially like if they're doing, because the only monsters that I know that have brides, Dracula, Frankenstein. That's it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's literally it.
I don't
But
know-
I think
know
it would be
how
really
it
good
works,
because
'cause-
The Brides last year was a big hit.
Yeah, I don't really understand, like, is it just gonna be, like
I don't know.
a bunch of, because there's a lot of Dracula brides, right? But, like, there's only one Bride of Frankenstein. So, do you just have, like, a lot of rooms with the Bride of Frankenstein? Like, a ton of different people are playing? Like I
Couple scenes
don't
were-
know.
But see, then okay. So the biggest question I have is, if you're doing the Universal Monsters brides, are you going to include Frankenstein in Dracula? Because they're tied to it. So it's like, why wouldn't you have what is that word called? A cameo
Yeah.
of like the two guys probably just sitting together, like having a drink,
Sitting there
like
like
watching
this.
their woman do what they do.
I don't know.
I'm down for that.
I don't know.
So yeah, those are the houses. What is your favorite one out of the speculation? Beetlejuice.
Probably Beetlejuice or Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
I do, if that is a house, I do want to watch that show again. But I don't know that you'll be able to handle it.
I can't. We tried one scary show before and I couldn't do it. So now the streets, though, in this map we don't see any speculation. There is one for Creep Show, but that's it. And then of course they have Academy of Villains probably coming back. They have the Lagoon Show probably coming back. So now the other thing that we're going to talk about too is those were speculations, basically that we found for like most people are talking about. There's probably, of course, there's other maps you guys can find and everything, but we want to talk about not just like our speculations, but how we would like Halloween Horror Nights 30th to go. But yeah, so like for instance though, I think this is something for like the 50th. I think this is a 50th trademark or a 100th trademark, kind of big things. But to have all realms of horror, I'm talking from the very first horror that has ever been created, bring them all in. I'm talking like major marketing,
like a horror
major merchandise.
through the decades type of thing.
But not through the decades. I'm just talking like just all of it. And I mentioned this to Stephanie earlier. Imagine a shirt. You have Jack, and he's basically pulling the strings for all things horror. And you have, I mean, everything from like the first Exorcist to the newest one, all the Conjuring series. You can have the slasher films. You can have the paranormal films. You can have even like the ones like.
But I feel like they almost do that every year.
Yeah, but I'm talking like not just like one of each. I'm talking like the mashup. One house be 80s slasher films. I'm talking not 2, 3, 4 minute walkthrough houses. I'm talking MegaCon 10 to 15 minute house walkthroughs that take up like 100 cast scare actors. And I'm talking to put these people through the best year that they can go. I mean, you go through a house, you wait 2 hours to go through a house, and you're in there for minutes going through, and you're seeing like all things. And one thing I mentioned was like, for instance, to me, I think of like the Elite, kind of like a slasher kind of series, or like just at least the Elite, in that sense, where the facade, where you're walking up to actually go into the house, you see those main iconic houses from those movies, and you walk in, and as you go through the story of each one, but you continue through the house as an evolving story, and like 10 minutes later, you come out to the very end, and it's like you went through all of Halloween, you went through all of Friday the 13th, all of Nightmare on Elm Street. You go through like all those.
The only issue I see with that is I don't know if you can like mash up IPs like that.
So, for instance, most of the things I'm about to say will never happen.
Like logistics.
These are just like dreamed ideas.
Like I just think like technically like. I don't know who owns all those movies, but if they're not the same companies, they
when
probably
you go through it, there's
going to
be huge technical, But most of the things I'm going to state probably like they won't happen ever. Not even if Universal Studios owned all of Orlando to have the space for it. Don't think it can happen. I'm just putting just those ideas out there.
Okay, and then we'll come to me and I'll say some.
And she'll be like very legit.
Ones. Yeah.
Another thing that I would like is Walking Dead. Now, it's kind of dead. It's kind of died down and all that. But to have all the seasons for you to go through it, have a whole, that'd be like the zombie kind of stuff. Get to go through all those series. Then you hop into like American Horror Story, go through like all the seasons of those and experience that. Just because at the time when Walking Dead came out in Horror Nights and American Horror Story came out in Horror Nights, those were big things. So it's like those are good attention grabbers, and you get to go through a 10, 15 minute house to see it all.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'll let you go. Cause
I was going to say, I have a zombie one that I think would be a little more recent. And I don't know if, like, it would necessarily, like, work because it might not, like, it might not reach as many people, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
But...
Is it like an audience grabber or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that video game that just came out, The
Last of Us?
Yeah, The Last of Us.
The final countdown.
But, like, I think that would be kind of cool. I haven't played the game. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but...
Has Horror Nights ever done...
a video game one?
A horror video game?
I don't know. I feel like I remember seeing that they did, like, a Silent Hill one time. I think they might have done, like, a...
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, you say that it may not get a lot of grab... I think it will. I think The Last of Us is I'm not a horror video game fan person, and I know The Last of Us. I think that would be a huge grabber for them. Like for instance, you watch a movie and you go to Disney and Universal, you get to live it. Then a video game, you get to live that video game.
Yeah.
To a lot of people who like are into video games or even just that whole genre, I feel like they would jump on board.
There are a lot of horror video games that I think that they could like go off of.
I know like Dead Space was a big thing back in the day.
I don't know what that is.
That's all I know. The Haunted Mansion video game. It was a serious thing I couldn't even play it. I was too scared. Fun fact, still have it, PlayStation 2. It's locked up in some vault. So.
But yeah, I think a video game one would be cool. Because you have a lot to work with. it's a lot of material, you know?
That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
What else?
For me?
Yeah, what else would you
Okay, there are a few
put in there?
there are a few movies. Like, I don't have like themes and like big like ideas like you do.
All clown themed
But
house.
absolutely not. One house or
I'm talking like my 20-minute freaking montage of a house.
just clowns for 20 minutes.
Killer
I don't think
clowns.
anybody would go through that.
It.
So,
Ronald McDonald.
the scariest one.
It freaks me out. Go ahead.
Of course it
The
does.
Hamburglar.
Right. There are a few movies that I think would be cool as houses. I think Hereditary would make a cool house. I said this to him before, but I think it might be a little... The movie itself might be a little too much for, like, HHN because, like... Yeah, I know what the Hamburglar looks like.
Oh. If y'all don't know, if y'all
I
can
think
see
everybody
that.
knows what the Hamburglar looks like.
Well,
Sorry.
now I know.
Anyway, so I think like Hereditary might be like a little too much for like the general public.
Mhm.
Like in order to like, I mean, there are houses based off movies that I haven't seen the movie and I enjoyed the house. Like House of a Thousand Corpses last year. Never
Yeah.
saw that movie.
We went
The
to
house
that was pretty.
made absolutely no sense to me,
Did it?
but I still enjoyed
It
it.
was a good house. It was fun, but I don't think it deserved House of the Year.
All right,
My
well,
opinion.
that's a whole other
That's a conspiracy
video.
theory that we can talk about.
So, I think Hereditary would make a really good house because, first of all, it's like kind of set in a house, and like, actually, you could have like 4 different settings. In my mind, yeah, because you have the house
Mm-hmm.
that the family lives in.
I don't know.
You have the apartment that the friend or the girl, the lady lives in. You have the school, and then you have the like barn treehouse thing at the end of the movie. That would be a dope room. I don't know
I
how
don't
you
even
would do
like
that
that.
though.
The barn.
It's
I'm good. The school.
I never said barn treehouse.
The barn treehouse thing.
Oh yeah, I guess
The
it's
barn.
a treehouse, but I don't know how you do that. There's kind of a lot of nudity, so I don't know. That would be hard. It's all old people too.
Okay.
That would be a really cool house.
I'm already freaked out by
It would
hearing
be
this. I don't even know what this
difficult.
movie
It would
is.
be difficult, but that would be a really cool house. I think scary stories to tell in the dark, kind of
You did
along the
talk about
same
that.
like bedtime story like sort of deal. But the movie that came out recently, based on the books from I think the 90s, he has never heard of the books, never heard of the movie.
Like I
anything.
said, I stay away from all
know-
things horror.
I don't know
I have a past.
where. Yeah, I don't know where you were like during your childhood. That was like we
In a
loved
church.
reading those.
No, I'm kidding. Actually, I don't even go to church.
But yeah, I think that would make a really good house. I think
What-
that would be really cool.
What was it we talked about? So there was a house that Horror Nights had. May not be for the 30th, but we thought would be a cool theme. Was it Slaughter Cinema or Scary Story? Or what was it that we talked about where they had different themes throughout the house?
And it was just like a whole year of like it was Slaughter Cinema.
Slaughter Cinema.
Slaughter Cinema was my favorite house 2 years ago, and I was a tad disappointed when they decided to use Yeti as like the
Oh, the
one that
house
would be
from
the
it.
standalone house from
Mhm.
Slaughter Cinema last year. And
I mean, Yeti was pretty cool, but
I
was a mighty
just
low ref.
like in terms of like Slaughter Cinema as a house, that wasn't my favorite like section of it. Like there were so many other sections that would be so cool as like full houses, but I actually really liked Yeti after I went through it. But I think it would be cool to see those other
It would
like
be-
sections
yeah,
as
for,
full
like-
houses.
for like one of those houses that has like all those mashups in it, be cool if that's like one of the themes, and then have like multiple houses be one of those themes as its own house.
Yeah.
That'd be something that would be pretty cool. But
I would love.
I feel
to
like
see
the only issue that would have is like if you hated Slaughter Cinema.
Yeah, you would.
You'd be like, dang,
You'd
this
be
is
like,
not my year.
I'm not going this year.
So.
But I would love to see that, like the sorority sacrifice section, but like as a whole house. That would be cool. I think that would be really cool. And I forget what it was called. The like little kids. What was that called? I forget what that section was called. But the little kids at like
Kids Zone.
I don't know how they would fill a whole house with like people under 5 foot, but
Stranger Things.
That's true. That's true. But I think that would be a really cool section too, because it was like Chuck E. Cheese themed, like they were like in Chuck E. Cheese
And like a little kids pizza arcade
yeah,
place thing.
Yeah. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. So, any more speculations that you would have, or like things you would like?
Not really.
Dracula, make him an icon.
That's all you have to say.
That's it. Dracula. So. But yeah, so that's those are just some of the speculations that we were coming from. We still haven't heard anything. We're waiting to hear it. We would like to go to the event if they have it. Now, when it comes to like the whole like how's Universal going to go and do social distancing, how they're going to go in and do safety precautions, we don't know. Most likely, they're going to do what's best. Period. I have no doubt in my mind. Now, what would be great, because of this whole pandemic going on, a positive that I can look at for the social distancing. Now, we've been in the parks multiple times. The queues have to be spaced out, 6 feet apart. To go into the house, you would have to wait in your group. You and your group would have to wait to proceed in the house after the first group ahead of you continues after amount of time.
You'd have to stay 6 feet apart.
For like 5 seconds. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next group.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'd probably have a panic attack because just going, and I have been to Halloween Horror Nights. I have been through houses by myself.
Yeah.
And those are the moments where I blacked out. Like I remember just getting to the end thinking like, man, I'm alive. The experience as a whole, you get every scare because all the scare actors are like, oh, here comes this one dude, we're gonna get him.
Yeah.
So as a person who really loves the event, that could be something that benefits them because you get to go and experience it. Usually with Horror Nights, how it all is you all stack in one line and you keep going through. So sometimes you don't get most scares. You'll see it happen in front of you, and then now sometimes you'll see it happen, you know it's going to happen, so you kind of freak out as you pass this dark little hallway, but then nothing happens. Yeah. So for people who really want that scare, they probably would benefit off of this, where you can go through it. But the issue that comes to be is a lot of people are saying, well, how do you keep the scare actors and the guest
distant from
socially distant from each other? Kind of hard.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
I'm
most scares
to see how they do
of Horror Nights is right on top.
I have.
Now, granted, I'm pretty sure like they could do a house where like I can be 6 feet away and come out, and I can still scare you.
Yeah.
They can create things like that, but they would have to have
happen, and I have like, I mean, even if it wasn't my fault or the other person's fault, I have touched people on accident.
I have countless times
guests
of
touch me on accident.
Completely.
So.
Like, I'm talking like full body collisions, like NFL. I mean, coming out and then people running to. I mean, it was. I mean,
scare actors get touched more than you would think.
It's a consistent thing,
and it's not necessarily.
But it's like not all. It's
on
like purpose. It's just by accident. People get scared. They flail.
Yeah. Right, and then it's hard to like control that. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. Yeah. I'm wondering, like, will scare actors have to wear masks through there?
Wait a minute. That we're talking about houses. I didn't even think about streets.
How would you even do that? Because normally, like, when like.
I know how.
The way scare actors scare in the street is like you like
you
kind of run up and like
right in their face
and then run away. So
wait.
Rah. Yeah. That's how I would do it.
Can I experience that again? What happened?
Rah.
Rah.
But you know what I mean. Or like if you have like a prop, like you use it in their face, like
it's a really like you can like make eye contact with one of the scare actors and like they'll target you and come after you. That's what gives people those jump scares, is being targeted in a large crowd.
It'd be hard to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. So it'd be interesting. Like, we're waiting. I know as time goes on, we actually may make another video of Horror Nights as information comes out. If any information comes out, we don't know.
When, if.
Most likely 10 minutes after I get this out. But yeah, I think that's just a couple things we like to talk about and put out there. If we do another video, it's going to be actually information we do get from Universal on what they're going to actually do, if they're actually going to do it or not. And then we may just talk about more fun things like that. So
yeah,
we'll see. If you guys enjoyed this video, though, please give it a like. Also, leave a comment and things that you are excited for Horror Nights, if you want it to happen, if you think it should, or if it should be pushed back next year. And also, if you guys like this setup where we do a little talk show kind of thing. This is a talk show. I want to give it a name. Or like a jingle. Do the jingle. I don't have a jingle.
I don't know.
I'll come up with one. No, I probably won't. So, but yeah. So anyways, that's going to do it for us. We hope it happens this year. We hope safely. I want it to come out fully ready to go, but of course, safety is a top priority for everything.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. So anyways, that's going to do it for us. We're going to sign off. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Stay notified for any time that we go ahead and post a new weekly video. Like I said, I remember trying to do 2 a week, but I think we're going to try to post as much as we can.
Yeah.
For the meantime,
because
we got nothing else to do right now. I'm locked up. So
yeah.
But thanks for watching, guys, and have a spooky year.
Bye.